Now, this paper, okay, we're going to start this paper, and it's February March 2019. अब इसका जो पहला क्वेश्चन है, ठीक है, it's all about the first question is about Boltzmann distribution. So let me also open. अच्छा, अब ये कि Boltzmann distribution. What is the Boltzmann distribution? ये हमने पढ़ा था. मैं थोड़ा सा इसका quick recap. We did this in kinetic part, reaction kinetics के अंदर ना we did this. Now Boltzmann distribution was कि you had it was the distribution of particles in a gas or a liquid as well. तो यहाँ पे ना energy levels होते थे इस side पे on this axis. You had your energy levels और ऊपर ना percentage of particles होते थे or number of particles. So percentage of particles. Now the thing was that the distribution would always look like this. कि उसमें it was skewed ऊपर जाती थी और फिर दूसरी side पे it was kind of skewed. अच्छा, why was why was it skewed? कि most of the particles have average energies. So average energy पे ना number of particles are usually they are a lot. So you have more particles having average energy. So इसलिए your height is you have a bigger height over here. Low energy पे number of particles कम होते थे. So the graph would not rise. And extremely high energy, if you kept on moving towards extremely high energy, the number of particles would be lesser and lesser. ठीक है, रीवा ये clear है? Is this clear? And the other thing was that if you increase temperature, what would happen? If you increase temperature, then the curve would kind of shift to the right. It would become flatter, but it would shift to the right. क्योंकि now average energy wala part जो है ना, that would shift to the right as well, because if the particles have higher energy, if you let's say it's your room and you're taking the room to a higher temperature, then you have more particles at higher energy, so either graph high hoga, and you would have less particles at lower energy, and the graph would be lower over here. और फिर एक लो एनर्जी अगर टेम्परेचर कम कर दो तो द ग्राफ वुड राइज और उस साइड से ड्रॉप करेगा. ठीक है, रीजन इट्स इट्स गोइंग टू राइज इज कि इफ यू डिक्रीज टेम्परेचर, so this is your lower temperature side. So if you decrease temperature, तो यहाँ पे lower temperature पे number of particles would increase, and higher temperature the number of particles would decrease, so they would be lesser. ठीक है रीबा, is this clear? Now moving to the question, what does the question state? It says that the Boltzmann distribution is shown for a gas at an initial temperature of T1. So we have the initial or the starting temperature, and it says that the gas is being heated to temperature T2. So T2 is higher temperature. So at a higher temperature, what's going to happen to the graph? The graph would shift to the right. It's going to what's going to happen is कि height wise it's going to be lesser. Okay, let me rub this off. So what's going to happen is something like this would happen. It's going to rise, higher temperature on the side it's going to rise, and lower temperature side it's going to drop. So which one is the correct one? Reba, out of these, which one is the correct one?
B.
ठीक है, why not C?
Because it's higher.
ठीक है, the height would actually decrease. So I think this height was 3, exactly at 3 at the third mark. And this height is around the third mark से नीचे हो गया. So आगे चलते हैं. This is a moles question. You're given 3.7 grams of copper to carbonate, and it's reacting with hydrochloric acid. तो सबसे पहले तो equation बनाते हैं. What is the reaction? So copper carbonate Cu2 plus किसके साथ react कर रहा था? It was reacting with hydrochloric acid, and that is your HCl. So it's going to form copper chloride but plus water plus carbon dioxide. and you need to balance this. So 2. I say either Sina, I'm going to copy what is given. You're being you're being provided 3.7 grams of copper 2 carbonate. So copper 2 carbonate 3.7. That this is given as 3.7 grams. And the other thing that's provided is the volume and concentration of hydrochloric acid. So that's 25 cm cube of 2 mole per dm cube. So the volume is 25 cm cube. And the concentration is 2 mole per dm cube. So now the thing is, first thing is, okay, Reba, quickly find the moles of both substances. Okay, it's going to be moles is equal to mass divided by the MR, which is, we need to open the periodic table. So the periodic table is right at the bottom of the data booklet. So all the moles के question में exact values लेने का कोई फायदा नहीं है, लेकिन we'll just do that. 63.5, ठीक है? Copper is 63.5. Carbon is given as 12 and oxygen is given as 16 times 348. So Reba, how many moles do you get?
0.03.
The exact?
No, 0.0299.
The third significant figure is rounded to 3, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
So 0.03 moles. So what about HCl? How many moles do you get for HCl? HCl would be volume into concentration, so it's going to be 25 divided by 1000. क्या value है ये?
0.05.
So the first part is, which one do you think is in excess more than the required amount? You have the moles of both substances. You have the moles of HCl, you also have the moles of copper carbonate. So which one do you think is in excess? HCl is in excess.
Yeah. Wait, copper carbonate.
ठीक है, so copper carbonate is in excess. अच्छा, why is it in excess? क्योंकि according to the ratio, उसका मैंने एक shortcut बताया था पहले. I told you कि if you want to figure out which one is excess, तो आप इसके moles उठाओ, divide by 2 और उसके moles 0.03 divide by 1 होंगे. This comes out to be bigger number, which means this is in excess. You never use the excess moles. In moles को calculations से बाहर निकाल दो. ठीक है, you never use क्योंकि only these are not the exact moles that are taking part in the reaction. 0.05 reacts with 0.025, not with 0.03. खैर, at the end of the day, question में वो क्या कह रहा था कि he's saying volume of carbon dioxide figure out करो. So how many moles of carbon dioxide do you think are produced? If 0.05 moles of HCl react?
0.05.
नहीं. It would be half of that. Is this clear?
No, 0.02.
मैं उससे पूछा क्या था, वॉल्यूम बताओ. Find the volume. Volume का formula क्या है? Moles is equal to volume of gas divided by the molar volume, which is 24 dm cube. So you multiply this by 24 dm cube, you get volume. What are you getting?
0.6.
You're getting 0.6 dm cube. Okay, that's the volume of carbon dioxide gas that's going to be produced, and the answer is going to be A. Okay, moving to the next part. Which statement about a 3p orbital is correct? So 3p orbital, what statement is correct? It can hold a maximum of 6 electrons. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's absolutely correct. Because it has 3p is going to have 3 orbitals, px, py,
D.
and each one can have a maximum of 2 electrons. It's going to have a total of 6 electrons. अच्छा बाकी जो गलत है वो भी डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. This is incorrect because 3D third shell also has 3D, so 3D is even higher energy. अच्छा, it is at a higher energy level than a 3s orbital but has the same shape. It obviously doesn't have the same shape. It is occupied by one electron in an isolated phosphorus atom. अगर phosphorus is group 5, तो group 5 की जो electronic configuration होती है n में जाकर it's s2 and p3. So the p orbital actually has 3 electrons, not 1 electron. ठीक है?
Yeah.
अच्छा, anyway, next one. In which way do the species have different shapes from each other? First one, how do you figure out shape? BeCl2. And it's Be and bonded to two Cls. Do you think there going to be any lone pairs or anything in this molecule BeCl2?
No.
तो क्या shape होगी?
Bent. Bent.
नहीं, bent तो तब होता है if there were any lone pairs. B is in group 2. ठीक है, so it has 2 electrons. One of the electron has already been shared over here. One has been shared over here. तो पीछे तो कुछ भी नहीं बचा ना.
Yeah.
So the two bonds are going to be at opposite ends. They're going to have an angle of 180 degrees and it's going to be linear.
Okay.
ठीक है. What about carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is this thing. Do you think carbon has any more electrons left?
I think it's gonna be linear.
ठीक है, this is also linear. तो इसका मतलब है the first can't be the answer. Second, they should have different shapes. But anyways, so this is gone. What about the next one, CH4? What's the shape of CH4?
Tetrahedral.
ठीक है, so that is tetrahedral. What about NH4 plus 1? I mean, what is... It's part of dative bonding as well. Usually N forms 3 bonds with H. On one side it has a lone pair. So H plus 1 gets attracted to the lone pair. So it's basically 4 bonds. There are no lone pairs. ठीक है, Riba, is this clear?
Yeah.
तो इसकी भी क्या shape होगी?
Trigonal pyramidal.
नहीं, pyramidal होता है कि if there was no H. But if there was no H over here, then it was definitely pyramidal. लेकिन ऊपर it's the same shape as CH4. ठीक है? Tetrahedral. So it can't be B because they have the same shape. NH3 and BF3. अब NH3 की बारी आ रही है. So what I'm going to do is NH3 is not going to have this H. अब क्या shape है NH3 की?
Trigonal pyramidal.
ठीक है, so NH3 is trigonal pyramidal. And what about the other one, BF3? BF3 के भी 3 bonds होते हैं. Boron only has 3 electrons. That's it. No lone pairs. तो क्या होगा?
Trigonal planar.
So it's going to be trigonal planar. So it's C is the answer. They have different shapes. I say बाकी जो दो है ना, SCl2 and water, they're going to have exactly the same shape because both of them have 2 bonds and both of them have 2 lone pairs as well. I say anyways, angles बताओ. What is the angle around carbon over here? कितने pairs of bonds are? One over here, double bond over here, one bond over here. So even if they repel each other equally, so what would be the angle?
120.
ठीक है, so it's going to be 120. What about the next one? ये भी क्या था? N with 3 bonds, तो 1 lone pair. क्या होगा? N with 3 bonds and on top imagine a lone pair.
120.
नहीं, ये होगा ना. मतलब fan with its wings pointing downwards.
109.
नहीं, this was 107. Well, actually, this was 109.5. Lone pairs की repulsion थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा होती है, तो these bonds are slightly closer to each other. So this is 107 degrees. अच्छा, what about these carbon forming four bonds? तो angle क्या होगा?
490.
90 होगा, carbon four bonds. It's going to be this one.
109.
So it's going to be 109.5.
Yeah.
Okay, इनमें से choose कर लेना कौन सा answer है. Next part is about PV0 NRT. Everything is provided and you're being asked to find the moles. Moles कैसा निकालोगे? Pressure into volume is equal to number of moles into gas constant into T. ख्याल किस चीज का करना है? The volume must be in पहले तो pressure से start कर लेते हैं. Pressure must be in pascals, so it's 100,000 pascals. The volume, so pressure is done. Volume must be in meter cube. How do you convert 240 cm cube into meter cube? The way you convert 240 cm cube into meter cube is you multiply it by 10 to the power minus 6. अच्छा, n हमें कोई idea नहीं है. And you multiply it with 8.31 into T should be in Kelvins. So 273, so I think it's going to be 310 Kelvins. But you can confirm and you can check 37 plus 273. Tika, I think it's going to be in Kelvins. मतलब making P किसको subject of the equation बनाना है? I have to moles को.
I got 9.32 times 10 to the power minus 3. So B.
So B is the answer. ठीक है? Make sure the units are correct. ठीक है? So B is the answer. Next part is that their P, Q, and R represent three different structures. So, which one of them is a giant? Which structure is this? What is the name of this structure in this structure?
Graphite.
Okay, so this is graphite, and this one is, what do you call this one? Q.
Diamond.
Okay, that's the structure of diamond. Are they giant covalent structures?
Yeah.
Achha, so P and Q are giant covalent. This is not. Remember, this is not. What do you call this compound?
Um.
ये आईडी बहुत पहले हमने किया था.
Buckyball.
ठीक है, this one is a buckyball or buckminster fullerene. और ये मैंने कहा था कि it's basically these graphene sheets. मतलब one sheet of graphite is called graphene. So it's a graphene sheet which gets rolled into a ball-like structure or like a tube-like structure. Tube-like structure होगा, it's going to be called nanotube.
Okay.
So then you have an enthalpy change reaction. उसके अंदर क्या होता है? Which expression gives the standard enthalpy change of formation of methanol? Ariba, first thing is tell me what the equation is. What is enthalpy change of formation? What's the definition in simple words? कोई idea? उसमें 1 mole substance form होता था. And it would get formed from its elements.
Is it C carbon plus hydrogen?
How?
Goes to C.
And they must be in the standard state. So methanol is CH3OH. And it's a liquid. So it has one carbon solid, two H2 gas molecules, and half of oxygen as well, gas. So this is the enthalpy change of formation of methanol. Anyways, I told you it's not important whatever the equation is. We don't care. What's important is that you're given enthalpy of combustion of carbon in this question. Start again. You're given the enthalpy of combustion of carbon, which is minus 394. You're also given the enthalpy change of combustion of hydrogen, which over here is minus 286, and I'm going to multiply that by 2. Oxygen का enthalpy of formation जो है, it is always 0. So we by default already know this. और इसका enthalpy change of formation, not formation, combustion जो है, that's provided over here is minus 726. ठीक है Reba, is this clear?
Yeah.
So how do you calculate the enthalpy change if the reactants and the products are all known and the enthalpy changes are already given? नहीं क्या करते थे? There were two formulas. One was the enthalpy of that particular reaction is basically the enthalpy of combustion of products minus the enthalpy of combustion of reactants. The other one was for the enthalpy of a reaction would be अगर formation अगर formation given है, it's going to be enthalpy of formation of ये मैंने उल्टा कर लिया. The first one is not going to be this. It's going to be reactant minus products for the first one. So it's going to be reactant minus products, and the other one is it's going to be product minus reactants. ठीक है Reba, is this clear? Now,
Yeah.
now try and calculate the value of the reaction, or give me the expression. Which expression is the correct one? अच्छा कौन सा A?
B.
The product minus reactant. So the product is methanol. So methanol is minus 726. Is it? Sorry, reactant minus products. So these three are correct. First three. So you have to focus on the products which are carbon, which is minus 394. That's fine. तीनों में सही है. And then it's going to be minus 286 into 2, and C is the correct one. Reba, do you get this?
Yeah. Misty.
ठीक है, C is, I mean, it's product minus the reactants. So next one, the equation for a chemical reaction is shown. All substances are in their standard state. Which statement describes the enthalpy change for the reaction? I mean, how do you label the enthalpy change of this reaction? Is it formation, combustion, what? It can't be formation because formation था कि 1 mole of a substance is formed from its elements. So it's not forming from its elements. That's the definition of enthalpy change of formation. That in the reaction, 1 mole of a substance is formed from its constituent elements, which is not the case over here. ठीक है, ये clear है? The first can't be true.
Yeah.
As the second one, enthalpy change when a total of 1 mole of reactants is reacted. तो even जो reactants हैं, they're not 1 mole. मतलब वो 1 mole ये है तो 3 moles दूसरे हैं. ठीक है, is this clear?
Yeah. So D.
The enthalpy change when 6 moles of hydrogen fluoride are produced. That is exactly what's happening. So D is correct. Okay, that's the best way to label or describe this reaction. Anyways, the next question is acidified potassium magnate 7 reacts with FeC2O4. The reaction takes place as shown. So MnO4 is gaining electrons, while Fe2 plus and C2O4 2 minus are busy losing electrons. So how would you balance this equation? दोनों के reactants और products को add up कर लो. but make sure that the number of electrons lost and gained are equal. So you have to make sure, you have to ensure that the number of electrons that are lost and those that are gained, they are equal. So what I'm going to do is, ये मेरी oxidation की equation and this is my. So over here the electrons that are gained are lost, sorry, are 3 and the electrons that are gained are 5. दोनों को किसी number से multiply कर दो. This would be multiplied by 3 and this would be multiplied by 5. The number of electrons gained and lost equal हो जाएंगे automatically. And you're going to you're going to write this down. कि into 5 करोगे तो it's going to be नहीं सॉरी पहले ऊपर वाला. अच्छा ऊपर वाला तो बैकवर्ड आ रहा है, नीचे वाले को देखना है कि ऊपर वाला भी बैकवर्ड नहीं आ रहा, सॉरी. अच्छा नीचे वाले को देखना है. 1 mole of potassium magnate is reacting with this. तो what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply, वो तो हम कर चुके हैं. एक को 5 से कर दिया, एक को 3 से. So it's going to be 5 Fe2 plus यहाँ पे C2O4 2 minus है. 5 of them. और साथ कौन सा है? MnO4 minus 1. Plus 8H plus 1, right? ये मेरी reactants है. And my products are, what are my products coming out to be? So my products are, ये मैंने 4 को भी 3 से multiply किया हुआ है, so this would be 3 and this would be 8 into 3, ये 24 होंगे actually. अच्छा दूसरी साइड पे products हैं 3Mn2 plus plus 12H2O और नीचे के 5Fe3 plus 10 CO2. And I think there's हाँ ठीक है, that's pretty much it. ठीक है रिबा, यहाँ तक clear है?
Yeah.
फिर after that you're being asked to calculate how many moles of ethane to react with. अच्छा ये सारा पता नहीं करने की जरूरत भी थी कि नहीं. क्या वो कह रहे हैं कि 1 mole of potassium magnate के साथ कितने moles react करेंगे. तो how many moles of ethane diode react? So the thing is कि this is MnO4 minus 1 and this is Fe2 plus. This is 3 moles, it's 3:5. तो अगर आपके पास 1 mole होगा MnO4 minus 1 का, तो दूसरी साइड पे उसके कितने moles होंगे according to this ratio?
I'm confused.
No, you didn't get this?
No.
Equation वाला part clear है?
Yeah.
अच्छा, you have this equation, you have the ratio. अब उससे क्या है ethane iron 2. Iron 2 is reacting with potassium magnate 7. इनका ratio क्या आपस में?
5:3.
5:3, right? He's saying that potassium magnate is 1 mole. So this over here is 1 mole. So according to this ratio, इसके कितने moles होंगे? Iron 2 या iron 2 ethane diode?
1.67.
So hence the answer is going to be B. समझ आइए बात?
Yeah.
The next part of the question is, when copper is added, तो Kc की value दी हुई है, उससे क्या, what is the concentration of silver ions at equilibrium when copper 2 plus, पहले तो Kc, what is Kc? Kc is product concentration copper 2 plus. Silver is a solid, so you don't write solids in the expression. और नीचे क्या है, copper solid है. So at the end of the day, it's simply what is the value that you're getting? You're getting नीचे bottom पे ना, it's going to be Ag plus 1 and it's going to be squared. ठीक है, is this clear?
Yeah.
अच्छा अब उसमें Kc की वैल्यू क्या बना है? अच्छा, so Kc value is given, it's 1 into 10 to the power 5. And you're also provided at the same time, you're also provided with copper 2 plus concentration. तो वो इधर डालो. अब मुझे बताओ, solve this and find the value. What is the value that you're getting? Did you solve it? What are you getting?
Um, I got C.
ठीक है, तो बस वही है आंसर. स्क्वायर किया था ना, दिस इज स्क्वायर्ड, तो अंडर रूट करना होगा. सॉरी, सही है. चलो एक बार do these two questions. एक सेकेंड. ये दो questions, ठीक है. I'm sending you as